Hey, what's up? What's up? Joe in Vegas back with another review. I'm going to continue with the Sphere. Got to see another show there tonight. If you listen to my other review of U2 at the Sphere on opening weekend, I appreciate it. Got a lot of views, got a lot of traction. It's very cool. I appreciate all the comments, the good, the bad, the ugly ones. But I do appreciate everyone listening. So I think there's just a lot of interest in the Sphere, taking nothing away from U2, but I think people are just very interested in the Sphere. It's fascinating, and it deserves to be fascinating. It's awesome. It's awesome from the outside, and now we're getting a glimpse of what's going on the inside, which is why I went tonight to go see the movie that's going to be running. I guess it was made for the Sphere. I know they made it. Darren Aronofsky, famous filmmaker. From what I understand, I don't know all the technology, but I believe they created certain cameras to fill this massive screen and certain sound to fill these massive speakers. And it was a massive undertaking to create this one-of-a-kind movie that was made for the Sphere. So I'm guessing it's going to play there forever. I believe there's 3 shows, probably 4 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. Don't count me that. There's like a 4 o'clock, a 7 o'clock, and I think at 10:30 or 11. So I decided to go check it out. I had one friend who saw it who said it was pretty damn cool. So I started looking. Let's start with the cost. This review, I normally do concerts, but this is just an event, and I'll give you a lot of info that I think people want to know when they're going. So let's start with the cost. So it's kind of all over the place. I've seen tickets. I paid $50 a ticket, which I was very surprised. I was in section 308. I was in the last row of this section. I thought it was fine. I saw tickets ranging between $50 and $250. I don't think that show was worth $250. $50, very much worth it. My seats were great. I didn't feel 1 second that I would rather be lower or more centered or anything like that. This is not a concert. You're there for the spectacle. That's the screen. And I said it in my last review. One of the trade-offs, the higher you go, the more of the breadth, the overall breadth of the experience you're going to get. So I think 300s, 400s are fine. 300s were really good for U2. I sat in 207, I think. Here I was 308, and I was very happy. I bought the tickets direct. I paid $50 a ticket. Pretty good price. I think the people one section over were at like $160 a ticket, which is pretty pricey for a 50-minute movie. I know a lot of people have been asking about parking. I can't speak for the different things. I just know what I do. I actually park at the Mirage. I play there a lot, so I get free parking. I think locals get free parking. Don't hold me to it, but in my experience of going to the Mirage, and I'm there a lot, usually after like 10 o'clock, they just open the gates anyway. You don't have to pay, but I get free parking there. So I park at the Mirage, and I just cross the street, walk right through the Venetian. It's maybe a 20-minute walk. So that's what I've been doing for U2 and for this for parking. I think Venetian and the Wynn are charging right now, so you're kind of on your own with parking. That's that. My other suggestion would be to avoid. So there's a couple ways to get into the Sphere. One is to take this bridge that they built, which is it goes through the Sands Center. It's right where Venetian and Palazzo split, and then you go into the Sands Convention Center. You cut through there, and then there's a bridge that goes over. I went that way first. For U2, I entered off the street because I wanted to be outside. I wanted to get as close to the outside of the Sphere as possible. That bridge is a fucking nightmare. I found this to be actually a whole clusterfuck to get into that. Because like one movie, when you go to U2 or a concert there, you're just showing up and everybody's trying to get their way in. With these shows, you got 10,000 people coming out and 10,000 people going in, and there's not a lot of overlap time there. So I started at the bridge. I went to the bridge, and the line was backed up really far. And you're in this like bridge. I'm like, fuck this. So I went, actually walked back 10 minutes, went down to the street. There was a little bit of a line there, but at least you're outside. You have fresh air, and more importantly, I'd rather be outside watching the show from the Sphere and getting up close to it and seeing its amazing technology than to be trapped inside of a little bridge. So my suggestion is go enter the place off the street. Don't use that bridge. I think they fucked up on that bridge, honestly. It's too small to handle that thing. So let's see. Seats. So like I said, I was up in the section 308. Look, there's no way to get around it. That place is steep. And I don't want to, God, I don't want to scare anybody off. But I'll be honest with you. I wasn't really paying attention to it at U2. If you have problems with heights or severe anxiety or something, I wouldn't go. I saw 3 people, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to scare anybody off. It's really not that bad. But if you're even remotely sensitive to it, I don't know. I saw one lady crying. She couldn't even go down the steps. I felt terrible for her. It was just too steep. She was too afraid of heights. I saw another young girl who I saw her drag her boyfriend out and said, I can't do this. I can't do it. The anxiety's too bad. And I saw another person who was standing against the back wall, and I heard her say to somebody too, she was having a hard time with it. So the higher you go, the steeper it gets. Again, I don't want to scare anybody off. I don't want to plant any psychological seeds in people's heads, but the reality is it is pretty steep. And if you have a problem with heights, you're going to have a problem with this. So I don't know what to say other than that. I'm just being very honest with you. They kind of fucked up on the start times. The ticket said 7 p.m. I assume they'll go on. Again, it's a movie. This is not a concert. There's no opening act. There's no delays with the band getting ready or... I figured it's a movie. If it says 7, it's going to start 7:20, 7:30. So I got there right at 7. No, I got there even a little earlier, 6:45. And like I said, it was a clusterfuck of people coming in from the people going out from the previous movie, people coming in. I got to my seat. I sat there till about 7:45. Really, like, what the hell's going on? I asked one of the ushers what time it starts. She said 8:30. So I was really upset. That's a big difference. She said they tell people early because they want people to go experience the robots and everything in between, but everything in the lobby. But I don't know, man. I went outside for a little, and then boom, it started at about 8. So keep that in mind. I would definitely get there before 8, but I wouldn't get there too early. I screwed that up. The movie itself lasts about 50 minutes, maybe an hour. Just if you're curious how long, how to time things. So I was out of there probably at 9:10 maybe. I didn't really look at my clock, but something like that. I mentioned the robots. That's another thing in the lobby. There's 2 or 3 of these robots. I think there's 4 maybe. These robots that are very interactive. I don't know the technology behind it. Somebody there was saying it's just somebody up in a room somewhere with a camera and a motion thing, and they're able to control it. It's not really AI as they advertise. So, all right, we're already at 7 minutes. I haven't even talked about the movie. So the movie is pretty damn amazing. There's not really much I could say. I'm going to show visuals on here. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it for anybody. I'll put it in the title, spoilers. There's nothing to describe. It's the story of Earth. It's the story of how we started as microorganisms, and then we went into, animals were created, and humans were created, and then we developed, and we created fire and electricity and buildings and cars and planes and this, and then we started digging for oil, and it's this cycle of life where we created all this amazing stuff, but somehow we destroyed the earth while we were doing it, and all we were trying to get is back to that beauty. That's basically the storyline, but you're not there for the fucking storyline. You are there to watch amazing visuals, and they don't disappoint. There's some stuff even that, I don't know what the word is, hypnotic? There's a word for it, for seats that, haptic, I think that's the word, where seats move. There's some of that going on. There's one part where there's crazy weather on the screen, storms and lightning, and they kick up the fan so you feel the wind blowing. You are fully immersed in this. It's really fucking cool. The animal stuff is cool. The nature stuff is cool. Even like anything that's underwater, what's so amazing with the Sphere, because the screen goes all the way up and all the way to the sides, what's amazing is, if you're in an underwater scene and you're looking straight ahead at sharks or whales, if you take your head and you tilt it up, you could see the ripples of the surface of the ocean. It really creates an effect that you're underwater. It's very cool. You don't see that unless you go looking up, just like you would underwater. So it really feels like you're underwater. I thought that was very cool. The sound was crazy. People got mad at me. I didn't mention sound in the last review. The sound is amazing. It's freaking amazing. The sound is amazing. The visuals are amazing. The screen is amazing. All that stuff is just incredible. I don't think it's worth $200 a ticket. I don't think it's worth $150 a ticket. $100 a ticket, you're pushing it. But if you can get some good $50 seats for 2 people, I think it's worth it. I think it's really something special. It's something you can't see anywhere else but here for now. So maybe $100's worth it. Maybe I wish it was a little bit longer. It's really cool. Scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 9.1. It's just really cool, really enjoyable. It's something you'll remember the rest of your life. Another piece of advice, like I said, that bridge is fucking crap. It's so small. The escalators are very small, so it takes a while to get out of there. So be prepared to jet. If you can jet out of there the second it's done, you can make it out. If you don't, you're going to have a backlog. And like I said, leaving, I already saw the lines of everyone coming in for the 11 o'clock show or 10 o'clock show, whatever it was. And that was already backed up. So you had backed up one way, you had people jamming out the other way. It was like a real traffic jam. So if you can get out of that bridge, go to the street, take the street back to the Venetian, or try to get out of there the second it's over, make a beeline for the door. That'll help you. That's pretty much the review. 10 minutes. I can't even believe I made it this long. Sorry, I spent a lot of time talking about specifics, but I know that's what some people want to know. The movie's incredible. I hope I helped some people out with some of the specifics. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, comment. Let me know if you've seen it, what you think, and I will see you at the next show. Have a good night. Bye-bye.